The Rel that you are today, what does healing means to you?
Mm. Yeah. You know what's this is I mean, this might be kinda deep, but what healing means to me, especially right now, is, is I don't wanna say it like this, I'm trying to say it the right way, but
Man, say it how you feel it, man.
me me s me putting the effort in to just heal all these wounds has kept me alive.
Just Heal with Dr. J is going to be a space where we foster healing conversations, conversations that are life enriching, conversations that are going to provoke thought, that's going to provoke change, and also provide insight. And so that's what I'm excited about. Welcome back to another episode and another opportunity to join our healing space. Listen, don't just pull up to the healing community. I want you to subscribe and join this healing community because we are having conversations that are providing insight and bringing transformation in people thinking. And what I love about these episodes, a lot of people is just saying, "Hey, Dr. J, I got my notebook out and I'm taking notes." Please take notes, especially for the guests that we have today. I'm excited to have my good brother, comedian, actor, film producer, Lil Rel. Man, listen, brother, I'm so happy, man, to have you on
Thank
the
you.
couch today, man. Welcome to the healing community. I'm sitting here thinking about my intro and all of this, man, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just be, brother. Man, I'm so happy, man, to sit down and have this conversation with you, man. Man, I always start out all of the discussions with just not how you doing, how you feeling.
You know something? I'm feeling really, really extremely good. Um It's crazy that I'm doing this today, and I just directed my first feature or whatever, and so it in the mornings, I do my editing session with my editor or whatever. But, man, I've been pinching myself, man. Like, I'm so grateful that, like and I know this might sound a little corny, and I don't even care, but, like, I had a moment this morning where I'm like, "Man, I'm from the West Side of Chicago." I had a moment where I thought about little me and
Mm.
how none of this seemed realistic to me.
Well,
Living in the West Side of Chicago, like TV, Hollywood, it was just like it was more of an escape to what was going on most of the time in my neighborhood and stuff like that. So like to be doing what like George Lucas has done and Steven Spielberg, like you know what I mean, like
yeah,
Spike Lee and Keenan Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend and all those greats. It's like, oh, I'm actually doing that, and then like. For some reason today, I was able to enjoy the movie more than I had. I don't know why I was cracking up today, and because I'm usually kind of laser focused on what we need to cut and do or whatever. But I was like, yo, this is pretty good.
man, brother, I love that for you, and I love that you get to be present in that moment,
Mhm.
and to be present not just in the moment, but also be present in the work.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we're not present as men in our work because somebody's usually eating from our work. We go and work and then we take what we get and we take care of everyone else, but just for you to be able to rest in that, man. Uh and what I hear is the little boy is proud.
Man, I truly like in the last few years, I made a lot of huge changes. And the focus was to be present. Like, I feel like God has me in this position in this next part of my career. I feel like I missed a lot of stuff with the first part of success I had because I was, either nervous or if I could be honest, this is real talk. Like and I learned this more or less a year ago. Like the persona was running everything,
Mm.
that got me here. Like I created this persona to get to where I'm at. And at some point I had to let that go if I wanted to be present and really experience how blessed I am. You know what I'm saying? That was tough to do and really own the fact that like between hip hop and characters in movies and stuff like that, and just people I watch do things what I thought a boss was and all this other stuff. I really was like, in this game with my persona running things. And I didn't want to do that no more.
What got you to that point, real? Where you just like, I'm tired of the persona speaking, doing, and living for me.
it was stuff that didn't make sense, right? For instance, like I haven't drank in like 2 years, you know what I'm
Wow,
saying?
man.
And that was a big deal, but the persona was the reason why, and this is so crazy. I will only drink out. I couldn't drink in the house,
Wow.
right? And so to me, that was like, okay, why is that? And it was actually me going to therapy and really diving into why the persona was created. I realized like this whole time I've been like, overly trying to prove my dad wrong, who my father was amazing in my life. But it was like one random moment, like when he told me I couldn't do something. And since I was 14, I've been trying to prove. So then like my dad has dementia now, and I missed out on him being proud of me for real, or even hearing that.
Mm,
Cause I was still trying to be like, I'm gonna show you. So I wasn't even paying attention when he was telling me how proud he was of me and stuff like that. Now that he's where he is now, we can't even have these conversations. Cause now I understand his background. Like, when you get older, me and my brother talk about this all the time, getting to know our uncles and the older people and having real conversations. And he'd be like, "Oh, that's why dad was like that." You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because he was an artsy person and everybody else was kind of street niggas. I'm just being
yep,
real.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so they called he was a lame to them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize, like, even just I had to realize, like, even family members who didn't, when I first started doing comedy and it's like, man, I don't know about this or whatever. They wasn't hating. At the time, I thought I took it as hating, but these are people who love you just don't want you to fail,
yeah,
especially if it's something nobody's ever done before.
yeah, yeah. And especially in that generation,
Yeah.
if someone is going against the grain, it's like, oh no, how dare you go against the grain? How dare you step into this arena because we do this. We don't do that. And as you were talking, I'm sitting here processing because I share the same thing. Just my father, he's aging, and I can see that he's aging. He's still pastoring. I think he should retire.
Mm.
But the being present in the moments that they share that we kind of feel robbed of because I'm like, man, why didn't you give me that then?
But see, my dad did, and I robbed myself of it because
Got
of
you.
once again, look, I'll tell you what it was, right? It was me trying out for the basketball team my freshman year.
Hmm.
And my dad wasn't no athlete. He's a pretty short guy, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So he wasn't my mom was a sports person, which is
Hmm.
crazy, but it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But he was still like he knew we love sports. So like my dad coached our baseball team, didn't really know
Hmm.
baseball like that because me and my brothers love baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because he always wanted to be involved. And so that was on me, man. Like when the persona was just running things. And I remember I do screenings in Chicago all the time for all my projects. So I
Yeah.
come home and show I got my family so supportive. And so I remember him being excited about Uncle Drew and giving me love about it, and it wasn't until I replayed it after my therapy session, like, he did say he was proud of me, and I ain't even take
Yeah.
that in because I was still trying to prove him wrong
Man.
when he told me I couldn't make the basketball team.
Bro, that when I tell you I share the same thing, my father recently said to me, he can't say he's proud of me. Now he can text it.
Mm.
And to know his childhood and kind of like you say, when you start to hear the story as you're aging, and I often say this is that we don't really understand our parents until we are adults and we begin to understand the different dynamics that they had, not only with their parents,
Mhm.
but the dynamic in the parenting.
Yeah.
And so my parents were raised in Mississippi. So they were parent on survival
Mm.
and they weren't parent on how to thrive and how to succeed and how to really be all of those things. And so he said to me one day, Real, he texted me and he said, because my parents, now that and I have to say this, I earned my doctorate. You know, this wasn't honorary. So now that I've earned my doctorate, my parents won't call me by my name. They call me Dr. J.
Mm.
And bro, it broke me down. He texts me, he says, Dr. J, I always wanted to do what you were doing.
Mm.
He said, I always wanted to just speak in different places, but he felt church kind of like, really pigeon cage him. And so he says, son, I'm proud of you. I sent him the interview that I was doing with Taraji. And he said to me, he says, man, this is dope. My son is interviewing Taraji, and he's the biggest Taraji fan ever. And to your point, it's just, as you saying that, I'm processing like, did I rob myself of moments that he texted? Because I've been waiting for him to say it. And what if that's his only way
Wait,
that he can say it?
this is what and this we rob ourselves of stuff all the time trying to tell people how to give us what they're trying to give us, right? The best that they
Yes.
can, right? And so,
Yes.
I own the fact that like, you know, that I did miss those moments with him. Um, and it's all good. I mean, sometimes I'm like, dang, because now I really want to ask him about him. I want to ask him questions nobody else asked him.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, dude, you
Yeah.
was such this. My dad was such a very talented, naturally talented person in so many ways in music and art and this stuff he was just doing as hobbies. It was stuff he could have sold, I believe, for like millions of dollars that he was just doing just for his peace of mind.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, but then that's why like I feel like I'm honoring him by like knowing my art. And once again, like me being in this very beautiful place of being present, like I've enjoyed like me and my fiance were just talking about this today. She just proud of me because she like, yo, because a lot of people been saying it to me, which is weird, not making me uncomfortable. Like, either they say I have a glow, like even some of my friends came to my show in New York on Sunday. They's like, yo, you always hilarious, but you like brilliant, but you look so happy. The energy's just different. You made the room feel different. And it's like I am in I'm owning that life ain't perfect because it ain't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just really enjoying myself and I'm being so present. And I like the fact that, like, for instance, I did Celebrity Family Feud this weekend and I brought my real family. George Wallace had an all-star team, but I actually brought my family. And watching how happy my Aunt Jenny was, who watches Family Feud every single
Wow,
day, and
man.
she's on Family Feud.
Wow. I bet she was going
Oh
this.
my God.
Oh,
She and she was
saved her life.
and she was great. She was hysterical, she was funny, she was smart, and, Steve walked down, she's like, "There goes Steve Harvey." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot, you ain't really just shaped your thing," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to experience that and to be able to create these experiences for
Exactly.
my
For them.
family,
Yeah.
it's been a beautiful thing. These people who saw you from a little kid to who you became.
Yeah, man.
It was funny because people was taking videos because we were like, they'll see me. I didn't even know I was holding her hand, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
Just walking with her, holding hands and stuff. And
Yeah.
so, like, it's been beautiful to be. I'm so present right now that I've been able to enjoy every little moment of like the small stuff that I kind of not necessarily took for granted at first, but I was in such grind mode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, you know. Sometimes I wish I would have experienced what the Run, Get Out made. 'Cause it ain't a lot of movies, especially black-led movies that's up for Oscars and all that.
Real, y'all had a run,
It was
baby.
a crazy time. And but I was
Man.
kinda like I was still in grind mode and the persona was still trying to act like I knew everything I was doing, which even when I got my own show, I had a crazy run at that time, but the persona was running things and I didn't enjoy I didn't even really connect with the people I was working with as much as I should have. Like, this movie I just directed was the first time I felt like I connected to the production for real.
Wow.
I understood what everybody did. I talked to everybody every morning. It was something beautiful about having these people who's helping make your dream come true and you helping make their
Man.
dreams come true at the same time.
Man, bro, when I tell you, I love where you are because I kind of remember when you kind of started your journey and when you kind of started, sharing about therapy and I've watched so many people and I watch people just from them being who they are rather than from looking at them from what they do. And I can tell that there was a shift in you just by the way you were really speaking about your journey of discovery. And then I saw even more when you started dating, how it also revealed another, not just layer, but another version of you. Because and I'm going to say this, when we are loved properly, hear what I'm saying, when we are loved properly and love in a healthy way, it will release a version of you that's always been there,
Mhm.
but sometimes is hidden under certain things. As you speak about the persona, but more importantly, what I love, what I'm hearing from you, man, is that the joy. That's what I hear. The happiness. Because, bro, I don't know many men that have joyous moments. I don't know many men that truly experience happiness. I know a lot of men that only have pleasurable moments,
Mhm.
but not to just be presently present in their state of being, in their state of doing, or just in their state of living. And I resonate with that because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing the same thing from, my peers, man. They're like, Jay, this podcast, because man, I hate podcasting. Let me just say that. That's is my producer CJ. I hate it. I love to speak because I come from pastors and bishops, and I love creating messages. Podcast is just kind of like, and the one thing that God revealed to me, he said, this is just not for you to just talk. It's also for you to discover more about yourself, because I don't know this space. I know therapy.
Mhm.
I know football. But this space has allowed me to really discover newer versions. But there's a piece that I have, because I couldn't have done this podcast 3 years ago. I was still heavy.
You know what's great about you doing this too? I think we do need, and it's interesting because I'm not. I had a podcast and I couldn't wait till I was done. They paid me up front, so I do all this. So, because it's a
Man,
and also I didn't want to be grouped up with these cats that's talking crazy.
easy, bro. That's what I'm
You know what I
saying,
mean?
man.
So like I was like, but then this is what I realized, and this is why I love what you doing, is that they do need more of us to speak too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because at the, I'm not running around like I'm some expert or anything like that. One thing I am a expert at is being myself.
Come on,
You know what I'm saying?
come on.
I'm very good at being myself, and I'm excited about the journey I'm on. I think, we always praising how people talk crazy and doing bad and things
And
like that. And it's like, yo, you could still be happy and successful doing the right thing.
exactly,
It's okay.
exactly. And
Like you can love black women
yeah.
and yell it. It's okay. It's okay if you respect. Like
Now, somebody catch that message, man. What he get? What,
it's it's
think
it's
of what he put down.
it's okay.
Yeah,
I looked at the crazy people as lames. Like those are the weirdos to me.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? So like
yeah.
I don't like when you're just comfortable in your own skin. And I mean that's one of the reasons why I respect you so much. Like you one of those cats that Jason
Wilson, yeah.
Jason Wilson.
Good brother Jason Wilson, yeah.
It's just it's and I feel bad for my dad now because they ain't had it. Like, they had to be me and my brother, because my brother, he's in the same journey I'm on to my little brother. I'm so proud of him. And we every day we talk, we big basketball fans. And he in Chicago, I'm in LA. So we literally be on the phone the whole game. You would thought we had a podcast with it, but but we're always so, we've been having these great moments of like really trying to understand who our parents and our grandparents and why my uncle was this way and why dad was this way. And then what's crazy, my dad going through dementia, he talks about things from his past as if it's happening now.
Wow.
So that's why we're learning stuff like, yo, you heard what he just said? Like, when was that? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really fascinating. But that's how much I love life and people. Like
Mm.
I'm even fascinated watching my dad go through this process, which is it's tough to watch and it's interesting at the same time because you do wonder, like, at this point in somebody's life when they're going through dementia or like, where are you? What's the world to you now?
Man, that's a good question, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about that every day for him. Like, what do you, when you wake up, where do you think you are? Like, what year you think? Like, it's just, I think about that a lot, actually. It's really,
That's
because he just talks about things as if, like, one day he was talking to me about me.
wow.
He was talking about how I was gonna kick my ass. My hood is gonna come kick you. Like, but it's all right. You really believe in that brother really beat me? But the boy with the glasses, right?
So as you like, is he at home or is he at a
He's with my
facility?
brother, so we had him, which I was paying out, man, paying a lot at this place he was at. Now, the first place he was at was a blessing because it was a place built for these rich white people built this place for their mom. And when she passed, they just kept it open. It was near my brother's house, and he was staying there, so the care was, like, really personable and perfect, and then they ended up closing, and, we had to put him in another place that wasn't as great, and we had to be more hands-on. So then my brother decided to bring him home, but it's actually been a blessing for Matt. Matt is I was talking to his wife about it, like, he's happier taking care of my dad, which because he's the baby, and it's something about him having this much responsibility
Yeah, yeah.
for people that was very much responsible for him and all he's been through a lot, and so
So it's a full circle moment for
man,
him,
it's a beautiful thing to watch. Even just, like, when I call or, hit him up and hear him interact, he's loving that responsibility.
man. And here is a unique thing about that is that's also I assure that I can probably rest that it's probably healing for him.
He literally said that. It's very healing to him. Once again, and Matt, I'm so proud of him because it's to watch his progression. And we're close. We our middle brother passed away from cancer in 2013,
Sorry to hear that.
and we were all really tight. We're still tight. I remember my mama brought Matt home. You know what I mean? And so, like, I've always felt responsible for him. But what I do love what's happening now is that we have these very vulnerable conversations now, like all the time. Even because I call him, he like to laugh at everything instead of having an emotional conversation. So
Yeah.
he start laughing. I'm like, bro, you just be laughing because you don't want to get there. But then once he started crying, it wouldn't stop. Like, brother, okay, wait a minute. I didn't know it was gonna go with me. No, but I appreciate that. He was just telling me how much he appreciated me as a big brother and showing up for him no matter what. But I'm like, dude, I remember when mama brought you home. I
Wow.
don't even know where you came. That's why I even really understand where babies came from. I just knew a baby came home.
Wow.
Like, this your brother. Like, okay. Uh, but I remember asking my mom this, rest in peace, mama too. But like, did this happen or was it a dream? Because I remember grabbing his hand and telling him, like, yo, I got you. And that's just been what it is since then. And so, like, to see him become this dude, he has white kids, he's in the suburbs of Chicago. I went over to his house last summer and just spent some time there. And I was sitting there, oh yeah, just watching, like, because he been through once again, he went through a lot. He got, like, locked up before. And I remember me and Marcus, my brother who passed away, you know, we was kind of beefing at the time. Cause you close to age with somebody, y'all kind of bump heads, especially growing up. And at that
Yeah.
time, I feel like he was taking advantage of my parents. I didn't want to talk because he wouldn't move out. Like, man, you taking advantage of them,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we kind of went on our own grind. And Matt got locked up, and we blamed ourselves. Like, dang, we neglected him because we was beefing and doing our own thing. And so as soon as he got out, we was on him. You know what I'm saying? I was taking him to all my shows, and I got him a job, and Marcus would let him out of sight. And just to see him become who he has become, man, this
Man,
extremely responsible
man, that's
black
beautiful,
man. It's the
bro.
most beautiful. We come from an era when you think about people who grew up in the 90s and how many people. I know I lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I saw so many young people get killed, and I think that's a time we don't talk about unless you, like, start to see, like, they making these
Yeah.
shows now that's kinda, like, making it throwback, but man, it was crazy. It was something I got, like.
So were you in Chicago in the
I was in
90s?
Chicago. Yeah, the West Side of Chicago, and so, like, you know, I I talked about it in one of my specials, my first therapy session, and how, like, oh, no, it's in a new special coming out, but it was like, well, my therapist was like, "Yo, that was crazy, right? Like, those are children that were being murdered." Like, it could, but I normalized it in a way because I was used to seeing it. And so to get through that, I've owned and been happy to just be not just be alive, but for real be living. Because there's a lot of people who didn't see past 22.
Yeah. And then for us to be black men in our 40s that are thriving, that are healthy,
Yeah.
and then too, we've also made changes to enhance our quality of living, which you don't see because brothers, I hear a lot of brothers that look at 40 as if man is over. And I'm like, 40, I believe 40 is your prime. You have Arthur C. Brooks talks about this in his book From Strength to Strength. You have crystallized intelligence, is
Mm.
what he called it. What he called it is stored wisdom. you live long enough to you have acquired enough wisdom on how to not just make decisions, but to understand the decision that needs to be made.
Let me tell you something. Like, that's it's like I mean, I look at even just my journey with just the next level, how I see God and see my life and see, everything that's coming to me. Like, you know, being older and being wiser, I love the fact that I don't humanize God anymore. Like,
Mm,
people love to make God human. Like, they always find a way to, like, make God think like we think and do like we do, and none of that exists, right? And so, I look at, like, which is why I've enjoyed the journey more than ever, because 'cause I'm not trying to force or predict
yeah,
how I'm going to be blessed. I do know God has already opened those doors for me.
yeah,
Now the wisdom is, it's about my decision making.
yep. Come on,
Which one of these doors I go through
come on.
is the
Yeah,
route Imma go, right?
right.
So I love the fact that I have moments where I'm like, "Oh, God, I don't wanna make this good decision because it's gonna require way too much work."
Yeah, yeah. Listen, that's when you know you hit a stride.
You know what I mean? You just you like, but I know, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's not as hard as I think it is. It's just because sometimes we overthink the work.
Bro, let me ask you this: when coming from Chicago, and I'm sure there was secondary trauma, uh, trauma that you experienced just directly. Um, when you started really experiencing success, how did that impact you mentally when things really started happening? Did you feel like, is this supposed to happen to me?
Yep. I mean, you go through your guilt trip, right? You feel guilty about it a little bit, especially in stand up too. Like, a lot of these cats you come up with over the years, and you may be the one that made a decision. Like, I ain't finna just stay at the crib. There's got to be more than just doing stand up in Chicago. I want to be a movie star, which is why, like, I applaud my business partner and my foreign manager, Knowledge Beckham, who helped me do the festival.
Right.
Um, One of the things I love about him is, man, he never, like, downplayed any of the crazy things I would pitch him. So when he was managing me early in the early years, I'm gonna be a movie star, and Imma write, and Imma direct, and Imma produce, and Imma do this, and Imma host talk shows, and Imma host a game. I was just throwing out stuff, right? I'm gonna be at the I was just saying outlandish stuff,
Yeah.
and he never said, "Well, I don't know." It was always like, "Yeah, yeah, all right, cool."
Wow.
And so, like, when you have at least one person like that in your
Man.
life,
Woo. Yes.
the sky
Man.
is the limit,
Yeah.
and so, like, but early on, man, I felt guilty about a lot of stuff. I think once again, that's why the persona was running things. The persona was
See.
able to kinda, because I didn't know what to do with any of that. I all I did was act like I knew what I was doing when I didn't know what I was doing. Like, when I had my show on Fox, one of the biggest things I learned was that I mean, I would I walk in the writer's room because I did everything, and I'd be giving all these notes, and then I'd go in my office like, "I hope I know what I'm doing."
Mm.
But I wanted to front instead of me just letting everybody know, like, "Man, this is my first time around this, let's all collaborate." I was trying to be the big boss
Yeah.
because of the Dame Dash videos, and they're like, you see people do all this, like, "Yeah, this is what a boss
Yeah.
is."
Right.
And really, my vulnerability would have made me a better person in charge.
Mm.
And I learned a lot from that, and I had to own that, you know what I'm saying? I had to own just even a lot of stuff, even when I became number 1 on the call sheet in the movies and all this other stuff, it was always, "Ugh, stressed out," and then, I come from a militant family, so, like, yeah, I got always shit about blackness. Sometimes the white people wasn't even doing nothing to me, but I created something
Mm. Wow.
to just be angry about and to go against, "Yeah, let me talk to the executives," it's just stupid.
Yeah.
And so, like, once again, now that I'm present and I've let the persona leave, I've been able to replay all these moments.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that was crazy, man. You know what I mean? And so some people I've been able to, like, go and apologize to, like, "Yo, I'm sorry for if I came off a certain way that wasn't that I'm sorry."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
And
so, like, to own, and I mean, that's what I love about God is that, I'm enjoying this next phase of my life and just wisdom and maturity and being present, bro. That's
yeah,
why I've been enjoying, like, the smaller moments.
man, those smaller moments are a series of a potential big moment. Is how I like to see it, because there are these little moments where you get to be present. Like so, I've been out here in LA working on this TV thing that had me, and they were for the past 2 days, and the guy goes, "Dr. J, how you feel? You know, do you need to go? Da da da." I said, "No, man." I said, "I'm just in this moment. How do you feel about everything?" I said, "Bro, I'm good. I'm just in this moment." And I think because we live in such an anxious world, an anxious
Mhm.
society, that to see people who are present is like, and of course, even getting here today, like they would have me come back to the studio and do some more stuff. And in their world, it's like you get the comeback, the call back is like, this is a good sign, Dr. J. And he's like, how do you feel? I said, man, I'm just in this moment, man. And he was like, are you always this smooth? I said, man, I gotta be present. Because like you said earlier, when the numbers start going up in age and you realize you don't have a lot of summers left, you become conscious of like, let me stay right here where my feet are planted. Let me get out tomorrow
Mhm.
and let me stay in today. And I love that for you. Um, I want to pivot. I met your fiance, man. Like I love her, man. She's amazing. She got that fire, man. She got to have a conversation and kind of hear her background and just kind of ministry and stuff
Yeah.
that she come from, man. Um, and I know relationships brings healing, but what was the healing that she brought for you?
Man, some yeah, this might be kinda deep, I guess, but, like, I like the fact because when we met, I feel like I showed up with all my BS, right? Like, "You finna see I want you to know the worst of me."
Yeah,
Because we always try to give everybody the
yeah,
best of us.
yeah,
I think I'm dope, but let you see. And that's what came up first, and she didn't leave my side, but she wasn't judging me. And I remember, like, I had a moment where, like, I was shooting a movie, and me and the co-star, he was bumping heads, you know what I'm saying? He was kinda white boying it up, man. I couldn't take it no more, so I checked him. Right, I like the west side of Chicago, they came down like, you know what I mean? I remember it just was quiet outside, everybody had their mask on, you don't know what faces they was making. But I was like, "Fam, let me say this," because he was doing too much, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I needed a break. I told him, "Look, they had gave me like a weekend off, and so my friend Gerard Carmichael at the time was hosting SNL.
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm finna go to New York and I'm about to support Gerard." So Danella came with me to New York. That was actually one of our first trips too, actually. And the production called me while I'm in New York, like, "Oh, we need you to come right back." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "No, I told y'all, this dude and I need this. I'm not coming back." And then it was kind of like a threat. We could sue you, producer. It was kind of crazy. And I stood my ground on that, you know what I'm saying? And I remember hanging up and I was like, okay, I just ruined my career. I'm not gonna do no more movies or nothing because I done just told the executives, nah, my mental health is way more important. And I think I got emotional. I started like crying. And what I loved about, and it was something I never experienced before, she didn't, I didn't feel less than a man because I showed emotion in front of her. And at that moment, I was like, "It's how she see it, and that's what it is, man."
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta deal with it no more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But she was very comforting. She didn't even say anything really. She was just present with me and didn't treat me differently or look
wow,
at me like I was soft. And that was a big moment for me with her. You know what I'm saying? And then like since then, we've been on this journey for both of us. That's what's been crazy.
yeah,
Is that, she always like, you Mr. Rel, you stretching me. And then she mean like spiritually, cause we get some deep conversations, everything. And we both have grown so much because we've been very vulnerable. And it was hard to get that out of her because you've met her before. She's a firecracker. She's very outspoken, this and that. But some of that was persona driven too. So when both of us recognized that the personas was in front, and now we got to be extremely real with each other, it's taking our relationship to another level of just being like the vulnerability part of it. And then now we're blending families and those real conversations
yeah,
about, how we interact with our kid. Because now it's getting real, real.
yeah,
And but I love the fact that we're taking it there. Like even when we was praying this morning, I don't know. Daniela's dope, man. You know,
Yeah, she
I feel like I'm real lucky to have her, man.
yeah.
I love how we have our discussions with God together.
And
Even if it's talking stuff like, God, you heard what she said?
yeah.
She started it. You know, we literally, that's how we,
Yeah.
man, we keep God
And
in the middle of it.
man, and I think that brings a unique balance to understanding your divinity and your humanity. Is God is in the middle, but right now, nigga, you get on my nerves, and
And
that's real.
she shows up. I'm telling you, man, nigga shit. And she's there. She showed up. She showed up.
I love it.
She showed up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it was kind of crazy. Like, God, man, why is this all happening now? And I just meant to, I kind of want to impress her. I want to keep showing all this crazy stuff. But as I was going through this transition to getting better, bro, it was a fight. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I don't know. I think some stuff, I mean, maybe in the next special or book
yeah, yeah,
that I'll dive into, and people would probably be like, what? Yeah, because God is good, man, and Danella just so dope.
yeah,
I really am. I'm like so lucky to have her, and just even, I mean, our conversations even got deeper. You know, she's a light skinned Black woman, and we get deep into those, right?
yeah,
Because for a long time, I wouldn't even date a light skinned woman, because I didn't want everybody to assume once I got some bread, that's what I went and did.
yeah. Man, that's real.
That's a real thing. And
Yep.
so, like, for me, I found once I dropped that and just let love be what it is, but still have my issues with that too, and had to
Exactly.
own that too. And then I had to hear her perspective on how she grew up with people assuming what they assume about her.
Yeah,
And that's even crazy.
yeah, yeah. And I just shared my story. That has been
Dude, I watched that.
that
Yeah.
colorism thing, man.
It's a it's
That's a
crazy.
real thing,
Yeah.
man. Did you experience any of that?
You know, for some weird reason, and I love my mama for this, I was this overconfident, Black, nerdy boy.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Like, when I look at how greasy I was, I be looking at old pictures of myself. How did I get the finest girl in class
yeah,
with a big ass black? Like, but I was so my mother had me so confident in myself. I didn't really experience that for real till my son was going through it.
wow,
And it broke my heart when he came home from school one day about what these kids were saying. And I had to have this really uplifted. That was the first time I ever bawled about that. I didn't cry in front of him. Maybe I wish I would have, but it was after getting his confidence up. I had to go take a drive, and I was like, "Man, I ain't think he would go through that because I ain't go through it." And I thought it was worse in the '80s and '90s.
yeah, brutal.
But when you get you kids go to these schools you think are better, and white kids or Black kids, just people just talking crazy, man. I couldn't believe what they were saying to him, and he had to hear that.
Yeah, because man, it impacts you, man, uh, greatly, in a way that you can't even see yourself for who you really are because you're now seeing yourself through the lens of their words.
That was tough because that was family that happened to you. That's what broke
Yeah,
my heart about that,
yeah,
bro. Like, that
yeah.
was like,
And I think the one thing that always bothered me about Bessie and the family is it was uh it was almost like it was perpetuated because no one wanted to tell her because it's like, well, that's just how Bessie is. So no one never wanted to correct her. And even to this day, when that my dad called me, he's like, all these people calling me about Bessie, man, and this and that. And my mother said, my dad name is Jimmy. My mother said, well, Jimmy, ain't nobody never stand up for that boy and tell Bessie all about herself. Well, and his thing is, well, Mary, that's just how them old folks were. And so as if you just had to accept it. And when I released that, for me, that was me releasing a persona because like yourself, uh, I only it's like I was afraid to just date, period. Because I always felt like at some point, like even if a woman said, I love your beautiful skin, I'm like, at some point she's gonna get mad and it's gonna be,
mm,
your black ass. Cause that's what I was accustomed to.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And I experienced that with a few, and unfortunately, some black girls that I dated in high school. That was like it was always like your black ass because I played ball, so we outside all day, with football. So that's what I knew, is that, oh, he girl, his old black ass, or yeah, he black as hell, and it's dark, and then too, it was also wrestling with the fact that I'm the darkest one in my family,
Mm.
and having to really unpack that, but releasing that, it brought not only healing to the man, but healing to the little boy.
That's what I love about you talking about that. I told Danella the other day I want her to publicly, like, because we with the girls and the kids threw like a Mother's Day brunch at the house and they made food or whatever. And we was having a real discussion about that. She told this story I never heard her tell before. And I'm like, honestly, I would like for you. She's like, well, I want to tell it because of other like people, the way they've painted a narrative. But I'm like, no, what you just said will give people empathy because
Yes.
it's very honest and it was very real, and nobody sees it from that perspective. Because it's almost like what you're saying, right? Can you imagine? Because it happens both ways with colorism in black families, right? It's like you either catch it because you're the darkest one, or you're the lightest
Lightest
one.
one. Yup.
And so, like, it's a discussion I think we should stop running away from if
Yep.
we're gonna, like, make right by this.
I agree, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think even just what you sharing about not wanting to date a light-skinned woman, and then just her having her experience, I think that becomes a colorful conversation that provides so much perspective to people, because that conversation, man, like my DM was just on fire from men and women who were saying, this was my experience. I experienced this from my mom. I experienced this from my cousins. And this is what really, man, this podcast is about, is bringing healing, man. I want to end with this last question that I ask all guests. Um, and it's a question that I feel like it is the foundation of what of this podcast represent, is the rail that you are today. What does healing means to you?
Mm. Yeah. You know what's this is, I mean, this might be kinda deep, but what healing means to me, especially right now, is, is I don't wanna say it like this. I'm trying to say it the right way.
Man, say it how you feel it, man.
Me me s Me putting the effort in to just heal all these wounds has kept me alive.
Wow.
I don't think if I ever, like, I don't know if I'd be alive, bro.
I
Even the success
feel
and all that, like, for real, like, I don't think so,
yeah,
because it's easy to get in these dark places even when things are going well,
yeah,
especially if you haven't dealt with these wounds.
yeah,
So, I always gonna thank my assistant, my old assistant, April, when I had this panic attack one day on my stairs, and I never had one before, and she kept telling me to go to therapy.
yeah,
Because I kept doing little stuff to, like, sabotage myself. Even if people don't know publicly what was happening, it was sabotaging happening, and I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't start searching for true healing, and we talking about therapeutic, we talking about spiritually, and then as I went through the healing process, as the glow started happening, that's when God sent Danella in my life.
wow,
So I've been able to be loved properly and love properly
yeah,
because of the healing, and I feel more alive than ever. And we talking about every way you could think of, like, even just going on my health journey, like the way, when I tell people, I work out every single day and all that stuff, but like, it was stuff attached to me that had nothing to do with like the physical weight, but it was that. Like when I could look at Get Out and certain movies and I could see that I was depressed. Even though I'm performing and I'm killing it, I'm looking like I know how sad I was. You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
And it's like as soon as I start letting all these things go, if I remember the day my little six pack came in. I'm like, where did this come from? I've been like, cause I was on my workout and it was one thing I'm like, I couldn't get rid of this belly. And honestly, it was when I stopped drinking and I went on this fast, when I joined Cali Worship, shout out to Warren Campbell, Erica Campbell.
Yeah.
I went on this fast, man. And at the end of the fast, that day, I fell on my knees in my bedroom and just like shed everything off of me. Like God just played this highlight reel of, yeah, you made mistakes, but I'm still proud of you. So it's like God showed me all my mistakes, and then literally it like I remember it was like mistake, 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 and then this curve went up. Oh, I'm proud of you though because this is what you've done.
Wow.
And so yeah, that's where I'm at. Like so for me, healing is surviving, bro.
Man. Whew. Let me just let that sit for a moment because I feel the same way, man. Had I not found this space, um, I don't think I'd be. Well, I know I would, because statistics shows when you have survived several suicide attempts, the likelihood of you attempting again is very high. So I know for myself, man, had I not uh, really done the work and had that God encounter moment, I wouldn't because, like you said, man, it's almost like the dark spaces are everywhere,
Mhm.
and you have to search for light. And searching for light can be exhausting because darkness is it just seems to be, omnipresent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, man, brother, I just want to say, man, thank you, bro, for your vulnerability today, man. And thank you for sharing. I know this episode is going to help a lot of brothers and a lot of men, but just also encourage men to keep pursuing another version of themselves and to keep, uh, as I like to say, remain curious. Is there more?
Life gon' life, man. Life is gon' life. And especially for us brothers, is like, not only that, like, but let's all continue to communicate with each other. That is so important for us to talk to each other. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and get rid of these personas, man.
Uh,
If you gotta let your homie know, like, bro, I don't need to see the persona.
yeah.
Like, what's up? Who are you?
Who are you, man? Woo. Listen, healing and survival. And to my brothers and to my sisters, maybe you're connected to somebody who needs to shed that persona. And I want to challenge you to ask that person, who are you? As you just heard my brother, our friend Rel said, who are you? The more we allow people to see who we are, I think the better experience we have from each other because now we don't have to wear these masks. Listen, I know some of you are watching, and I want to encourage you, don't just come to the healing community, be a part of it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's growing fast, and this healing community is all about providing insight and also providing tools through these transformation and transformative conversations that we're having with people from all walks of life. Today, you didn't hear a comedian. Today, you heard from a man who took the journey to discover more of himself. And I just want to encourage you to continue your journey wherever you are, whether that's therapy, whether that's coaching, whether that's touching grass, hugging trees, whatever modality you choose to use, do something to put you on the path or do something to allow you to have a better quality of life. And until next time, remember, healing is a journey and wholeness is the destination.